One afternoon, someone suddenly passed narcotics to an elderly woman, but instead of telling the cops, she returned the stash to the gang's leader. The boss was stunned since she looked about 80 years old. Then the woman said she wanted to join the group and sell drugs herself. She said all of his workers were under constant police surveillance, but she wasn't. She had zero criminal history, and no one would expect an old woman. So the leader gave her 3 bags of drugs to test. After that, she changed her look and started asking strangers if they'd buy drugs. But people got nervous and thought she might be working for the police. Eventually, one bold buyer finally made a deal. Then the others realized she was legit, so they all started purchasing too. Some even returned again and again. Quickly, she sold everything. When she brought back the money, everyone just stared in disbelief. The boss gave her the promised cut. This time, he trusted her with more work. Over the next few days, the old woman began showing up where the other sellers used to hang. The place already lacked real protection, so it was simple for her to sell. Within a few days, she became their most reliable seller there. Others couldn't even move their product. One day, a few rival sellers approached her. They robbed her of cash and drugs, then told her not to come back again. But the woman wasn't someone who gave up easily. She baked drugs into eggs and made soft pastries. Then she invited her friends over and gave them pieces of the cakes. Everyone enjoyed the flavor because the pastries had drugs inside. She began selling her cakes early one morning. All her cakes got sold. She brought the cash back to the gang boss again. But that week alone, she had already delivered cash 3 times. Her earnings had surpassed what the others made in a whole year. Then the old lady asked for 30% commission. The boss refused, but she said if he didn't agree, she'd buy elsewhere. He had no option but to say yes. Because of the drug-laced cakes, people got hooked and more came. This time, she cleared everything in just 2 days. The boss gave her even more packages, but now the old lady knew she couldn't keep doing everything alone. She contacted the same dealers who had stolen everything from her. At first, they mocked her idea, but once they tasted the samples, they learned it was fake. The woman offered them a deal to sell her drug cakes for 15% cut. Eventually, they agreed. Soon after, crowds began visiting the old lady's house to buy cakes. She also recruited her lady friends to help prepare the orders. And just like that, the old woman built a fortune from her pastries.